Hi, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. I'm going to be taking you through another effort to get you to understand that you too can draw. It just takes a little work. Okay, so the picture that you saw is a finished drawing that I did now that I'm drawing back. Okay, so one of the major things about drawing and about almost any activity in life is to be able to start. Well, we covered that in the first video, I think, about the pre-start syndrome, and then the tricks of how you can get yourself to start. Now, the next thing that you need to be aware of, and this is very important because this is why people quit. People quit when they skip the next step. Everything that you do has a logical next step, and some people call that a gradient, others the ladder, others the staircase. There's all kinds of ways of looking at it, but it's the one step after another routine. Okay, so the important thing that we're facing now is that you've learned there are basic shapes. Hopefully you've done some work and you've found that you can draw those basic shapes. If not, you should still be drawing them. Now, the next thing is to make sure that you do not skip this next step process, because if you do, then you will give up. Because what drawing and almost any new activity that you take on is about wins and losses. Now, if you lose, you'll give up. If you win, you'll be encouraged to go on. So the very important thing is to actually be able to see that what you're doing is the right step. Now, I've already given you the steps showing the basic shapes. The basic shapes are very, very simple, and you don't need to make them complicated. Now, if you look at the drawing there that I showed you in the beginning of the Tin Man, well, you look at that and say, yes, well, I haven't learned anything so far that would allow me to draw like that, because there's nothing boxy or shape about that. But have a look at the little drawing that I did. Now, we want to come right down. Now that shows everything that you have been doing so far. Look at the next one. Now you don't have to look far for something to draw. Anything that you need to draw and learn your skill on is right there in front of you. Everything is about boxes, about tubes, about circles, about spheres. They're all there on your table, so you don't have to look very far. Now the thing is that what you're doing when you're doing these boxes and rectangles and circles and hollows and tubes, you're developing a skill. It's not that you're going to always end up doing boxes and rectangles and cubes. It's not that. It's that you need to be able to visualize how these shapes exist and are there within all of the things that you look at. Now, here for the lesson is not to skip a gradient. If you're struggling to do one thing, what you do is you go back and do the prior thing to that. When I was learning to be a trombone player, I had to practice religiously every day. That's how I know about the pre-start syndrome. That's how I know about the trick of being able to get myself into the session. That's how I know that if you are going through your manual, your what they call a tutor, there are graded exercises that are getting slightly harder with each page. Now, if I'd gone to the last page, I would love to have been able to play that exercise, because it was the most difficult, but I couldn't. So I would have to go back to the exercise that I could play, and I would do that exercise 6 times perfect. So there's your rule of thumb. If you're working at your drawing and you're working at the shapes, can you draw a cube 6 times perfectly without a mistake? Now, if you get to 4 and you make a mistake, you go back to 1 and you start again, 1, and you draw another cube. And if you make a mistake at 3, you go back to number 1. And if you make a mistake on 6, you go back to 1. What's this doing? It's exercising your chops. This is how you will gain your strength in drawing, and you will become totally familiarized. So that's what I want you to do. And the next exercise is another interesting aspect of working at drawing, and can be applied to almost any new activity that you take up. So these lessons are not just about learning to draw. They're about everything that you do. So from me right now, thanks for looking in. Like, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to you seeing me in the next lesson. Bye for now. This is a foreigner living in the Philippines.